So Joseph is, a figure of Christ. But let's see in what way. Joseph suffers greatly, right? Jesus also is presented to us both in the Old Testament in prophecies as well as in the fulfillment in the Gospels as a suffering servant. He suffers so that through him there is a blessing to others. Joseph's brothers conspire against him. They reject him. That's what exactly happens in the life of Jesus, right? The ruling authorities and his own people conspire against him and reject him, although he is the promised Messiah. His brothers, however, turn to him. They acknowledge their sin. They fall down before him. They repent. It's not yet happened with the Jewish people, but there will be a time when they will also recognize their Messiah, a time that is yet to come, when there will be a reconciliation, when there will be a change of heart. Joseph was extremely tender-hearted. I love this verse. Genesis 50, verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. And 19. But Joseph said to them, don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You find that in him there is no desire to take vengeance on the brothers who try to murder him, his own flesh and blood, try to kill him. However, he's tender-hearted. He's unwilling to pay back with retribution. He recognizes that God uses all of the wrongs against him for the larger good. Towards the end of his life, he asks his descendants one thing. He's in Egypt. Egypt is not the land that God has promised to his fathers. Joseph knows that God has promised Canaan to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He says, when God comes to your aid and takes you out of Egypt, carry my bones up from this place. And that happens. We will see when it happens in Exodus. When the Israelites leave Exodus, they actually take with them the bones of Joseph. That is symbolic of a hope in resurrection, life after death. Ultimately, the key takeaway of the life of Joseph is that God is sovereign. It does not matter how many ups and downs, how much evil there is in the life of an individual. If God intends for certain events to happen, his plan will be accomplished. It does not matter how many human impediments or how many satanic obstructions are in his path. God is able to work all things for good. He's not delayed, he's not slowed down, he's not hindered in any way. God is sovereign, working through all acts of history to bring about his purposes, exactly as he sees them. It does not mean that he engineers evil or condones evil, far from it. But the amazing thing for us to remember is, we are not the products of chance. If you are a child of God, you must stand firm on this assurance that you are not subject to the vagaries of chance. You are not meant to be dashed against chance occurrences in your life. If you surrender to God, ask God to completely be in charge of your life. God is sovereign. It does not matter how many people plot to bring you down, or whatever events happen in your life, whatever misfortunes or tragedies happen your way, God's purposes will be fulfilled. So let's be encouraged in that great hope that we have as children of God.